What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome to Automotive Life. My name is Lucky, and today we're going to be talking about rental car automation. Now, this thing has been blowing up for the last 60 days. I've gotten over 100 messages on Instagram, Facebook of people asking me, what is rental car automation? Is it a scam? Blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm not making this video to bash anybody or to call anybody out. I'm simply making this video to help educate not only consumers, but the people running these programs or selling these classes to teach other people. Because I believe a lot of these people don't even know that some of the things they're doing is actually illegal. So first, let's start off with the name, rental car automation. Now, I'm here to tell you there is absolutely nothing you could truly automate on the rental car business. You need to have humans there and boots on the ground. When we actually inspect the car before it goes out for rental, to actually vet the customers when they come in to make sure they're even qualified to actually rent the car and they have the correct insurance, to inspecting the car and checking for safety, mechanical, and other types of damage. These are things that you simply cannot automate. Turo tried it for a little bit during the pandemic and it bit them in the ass. People were turning in all kinds of insurance claims. It simply doesn't work. So why did rental car automation become so popular in the last 60 days? Well, during the pandemic, a lot of people went out and bought cars as a side hustle for Turo, which I'm not going to knock anybody. I know it's extra money at that time. It was great. But as you guys see, Turo's basically lowering their prices and it's a race to the bottom. And they're taking 30, 40, 50% of whatever your profits are. So people are left with less and less money as the prices go down. And so they're always looking for another way to make money. Now, during this time, I used to make fun of all the people that base their whole business plan off of Turo. I always told people you should get off of Turo, build your actual business, get a rental car license, get real rental car lines of credit so you don't trash your personal credit, because I know there's a bunch of these Turo gurus that are out here teaching people, hey, go out and get 30 cars in your name and ruin your personal credit and live off and die off of Turo. As you guys can tell, a lot of those guys disappeared. A few of them now are literally copying verbatim every time I put out a video. So it's funny, after I make this video, I want to see if they copy this one too. But they realize that that's not a sustainable thing. Like for a rental car business like myself, yeah, we could do it because we had the general public to make most of our money on, and then we had a few people come in to rent cars from Turo. So it wasn't a really big deal. It was more of a side money income thing. But basing all your business off of one business, which is like Turo, putting all your eggs in one basket is always a bad gamble. But during the pandemic, like I said, people got into this and started buying cars. Well, now that they're not making the same amount of money, all these people started popping up out of nowhere like, hey, give me your car, I'll rent it for you, I'll do this, blah, 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 and we'll split the profits. Now, I'm going to give you 3 or 4 different variants of the rental car automation programs that these guys are pushing, and I just want to let you know some of the risks with every single one. So the first one we're going to talk about are people that are going to rent out your cars for you. They're going to take care of everything. They're going to make it automated so you don't have to lift a finger and you just make some sweet extra passive income, which is 90% bullshit. You never want to trust somebody else with your car, especially a lot of these people we call broker jokers. They don't physically own anything. They don't have commercial real estate. They don't have business licenses, insurance. They figured out the best way for them to make money is to bum off of you. So they will take your car in your name with your auto loan and they'll rent it out on Turo, rent it to the public, just beat the dog piss out of your car for the next 2 years, and you're making all this passive income, right? Well, what happens in 2 years from now when it's time to maybe trade out of the car? The car's got maybe 60, 70,000 miles, you need to get something else. I guarantee you, none of these guys teach you about miles and depreciation. So I've seen some of these guys take 50 to 60% to rent out your vehicle. So out of your 50% or your 40%, you have to basically pay your depreciation, your maintenance, and then whatever little bit's left over is your profit. That's why I tell people that's not really worth it, because whoever's renting out your car is going to get the lion's share and they have no risk. Are they going to wash your car every other day? Are they going to detail it? Are they actually going to take care of the tires? Are they going to check the maintenance? What is if your tire blows out? Are they going to help you split the cost of the tire? If they blow out your transmission, your car is out of warranty, are they going to pitch in? I'll give you a hint. The answer is no. They're going to drive and beat the shit out of your cars. And when your car's all beat up and it's not passing smog, it's having mechanical issues, it is your problem. When it's making money, it's your money. It's both your guys' money. But when it costs money, it's all yours because it's your car. And that's why these guys have failed. Most of these people that are running these rental car automations already have failed rental car companies or failed Turo pages because they realize that you can't actually make money renting out your own cars because of the maintenance and depreciation. Because they buy a brand new car for retail, beat the hell out of it, and then they're upside down in a year, 2 years. That's why I tell everybody, rental car business only has 2 years, and then all the cracks show, and they show that how they weren't running their business correctly, and they fail. So now, how do they figure it out? Well, shit, I'll just take other people's cars and rent them out for them. Now, here's a little fun fact. Turo can cancel your policy if for some reason they know that car is not the whatever registered rental car company's car, or if it's the actual host's car. If it's somebody else's car, friend's car, whatever else, they can actually ban that car from the platform so your VIN number is completely banned. Or if you have, let's say, an accident, they could possibly deny your claim. So it's not worth the risk and it's not worth the headache. On top of that, a lot of these guys are renting these cars out under the books. So they're telling you, oh man, look here, see your car's on Turo. We haven't gotten any rentals yet. But in the meantime, he's giving it to his buddies for cash on the side. He's like, yeah, just go ahead and take this car. And they're driving around. So now they have no insurance, no rental car contract. They can disappear with your car and steal it. Or they're just going to beat it up and he's going to collect all the money. And he's going to tell you that, hey, we're not making any money. There's nothing there. So there's a number of ways you can lose money when it comes to that. And like I said, that doesn't even count if they crash the car or damage it or whatever else. So it's not worth the risk. One of the other things that these rental car automation companies are doing is they figured out that, okay, well, it's illegal to rent somebody else's car out. Most banks won't let you rent your cars out on Turo, use them for other rideshare apps and stuff like that. I did a video not too long ago about that. And banks are starting to crack down on this. So what they're doing is they're having people literally give them money. So, hey, you want to get my rental car automation program? Okay, give me $100,000. I'm going to go buy this Lambo. I'll put it in my company's name, but it'll be your car, and we'll put it under my business insurance, and we'll rent it out. Totally legit, right? 100%. Wrong. Most of these people, their companies could be called whatever, Bob's LLC. And then they'll brag and they'll be on TV or YouTube or Instagram and be like, look, bro, this is registered in my company's name. It's totally legit. Guarantee you that your insurance company does not know you're a rental car company. There's different types of insurance for rental car companies. It's much, much higher. That's why I tell everybody, if you own a rental car business, you will never file a claim. I always had $50,000 to $100,000 set aside because I knew that somebody was going to crash my cars, damage it, whatever else, and I knew I had to sometimes fight with their insurance. So I always had cash on the side ready for any types of accidents. Don't believe me? You can ask my buddy Houston. He's also here in Vegas. You can check out his channel, Royalty. He deals with it every single day. Another friend of mine, Rob Ferretti, he's in New Jersey. He rents out tons of exotic cars. He's probably doing it longer than all of us, and he has constant claims and constant issues, but he knows that he has to pay out of his pocket or file a claim against the insurance. So when I hear these guys talking about, well, I have insurance and we could go against it if we have any accidents, no, you can't. You have 1 or 2 claims, you're out of business. They will kick your insurance out, and they will black flag you around everybody. The reason why I tell people that renting out cars is hard, but renting out exotic cars is damn near impossible is because of the insurance. Every time we've set one up, and I've only set up 2 real good running legit companies, is because the insurance and the bond was so expensive, it was ridiculous. We had one client have to put $800,000 of his own money into a bond for the insurance to pull against if they have any claims in the first 2 years. And I told this guy's in Houston, do not file any claims for at least 2 years. No matter what, you're going to have to pay for it. He's had cars stolen, cars crashed. Luckily, he did the right things, and he learned actually how to call for people's insurance and make sure they're covered. But that's the correct way you do it. All these other ass clowns, they don't understand that. They just buy a car, a Lambo, and they rent it out because they saw somebody do it on YouTube. And oh, look, I'm renting it out for $1,000 a day. I'm making all this money. But then they wonder, why is Lucky or why is Houston or why is Rob renting theirs out for $2,000 a day? It's because it costs so much money to do business correctly. And that's why I tell everybody, this rental car automation is popping up everywhere because it's cheap. You don't cost a lot of money. They're taking your cars and making money with it. Or, like I said, they're taking your money and buying a car. And then at the end of the day, you have no legal rights to that car. You can cry, you could sue them, go after them, but if you give them $100,000 to buy, let's say, an Urus, and they rent it out and you're making money, and then all of a sudden you're like, man, I want to get out of the business, just give me the car. They're going to be like, okay, we'll refinance it out of our name, or they're going to tell you to go kick rocks or pound sand because the car's legally in their name. You can't even touch it. So these are some of the things that I see pop up, which is really, really scaring me. Now, the next one is just a flat out scam. There's people out there saying rental car automation / car share and this other stuff. I won't mention the guy's name, but I know you're probably going to watch this once you see the title of the video. They're renting out programs where drive any exotic car you want for like $2,500 or $3,500 a month. And so what they do is they charge you every month, and then every week you drive a new exotic car. You know, sounds like a good thing. It's almost like a timeshare, but with cars where you can just swap them out. There was one back in the day called, I think, Motor Club or Motor Millions or something like that, and they used to do the same thing, and it was actually a big business that went on for about 5 to 10 years back east, but they went bankrupt, same thing. These guys, I know, don't have that kind of money. What they're doing is they're literally taking people's cars that are leased and rented that are desperate because they can't make the payments because their car's not being rented anymore, and they're giving them just enough for their payments, and they're out there renting these people's cars out for, you know, whatever, $2,000-$3,000 a month, and just giving them to whoever. There's no verification of driver's license, no driver record, insurance, none of that stuff. They're just taking money and just letting these cars go and letting whoever they want drive them. So it's very scary when it comes to this whole rental car automation, because unless they have a physical license and an actual rental car license and it says rental car, they'll let them show you some LLC of ANZ Corporation, whatever. If it doesn't say, you know, like my company, it's going to be called Panda Auto Rentals. It's literally going to say Panda Auto Rentals on my LLC. It's going to say it on my insurance, and it's going to say it on my registration, because these are some of the things that the insurance companies want to see. I have to disclose every single car is a rental car. Every single car, my insurance company knows the VIN, knows the tracking number on it, because we put GPSs on every single one. We show them the data, we give them the information, we do mileage logs, all this crazy stuff. You know, so the money is great. Don't get me wrong. I love renting cars. It was a fun business, but it's not going to make you rich. You make 5 times more selling cars than you ever will renting. That's what I tell most of my students, most of my friends, and even people here on YouTube. You make way more money selling cars. Renting cars is kind of a pain in the ass. The only reason I do it is because it helps me with my repair business, auto repair insurance work, where like if you get into an accident and you need a rental car for like 30 days because parts are back ordered or we can't get them or they're out of the country, I offer rental cars for that. That's what made me start the rental car business. I didn't start the rental car business to get rich, because you make money, but you don't make life-changing money. It's not that great. Don't believe the hype. And then on top of that, when I had my dealership, it was just something where if, let's say, I bought a car and oops, you make a mistake, you put too much money into it, now the car's not worth what it was, I would rent it out for 2-3 months, collect the money, get the price back down to where it was at wholesale, and then go ahead and sell the thing and make money and not lose it, or lose money when I do a sale or wholesale it off. So it was almost a cost mitigator, as well as keeping my customers happy when it comes to repairing their vehicles. But like I said, there is a market out there for real rental car companies. Now, I'm currently talking to a few different people on the West Coast and the East Coast about actually correctly doing a rental car business where we can actually take other people's cars. Now, the reason why I haven't ever mentioned this is because it's been about 1.5 years talking to lawyers, talking to banks, talking to insurance companies. This stuff is very, very complicated and it's very tricky. So just the fact that these guys are popping up overnight just lets me know that they have no freaking idea how complicated it is, how there's so many liabilities when it comes to this. Because even when I first started, I had people wanting to ship their cars out to me. Hey, Lucky, just put this car in your Turo and rent it out, because I know Vegas is a hot spot. And I always tell people I didn't want to do it. Why? Because one, I didn't want to take their money, but the biggest reason why is I don't want the risk or liability. You know, if your car gets caught on fire by some homeless guy and it burns in my lot, you're probably going to be like, look, you should pay for that. It's not worth my headache, you know. But if you do everything correctly, you run the insurance correctly, you run the company correctly, and every customer signs a contract and is explained in plain English, this is the risks associated with renting your car. This is what you should do. This is how you should do it. I guarantee you, none of these guys have told any of their customers, and I'm sure after I make this video, I'm probably going to get 30 messages from all these people giving their cars to somebody else to rent out on, like, is it right, or what's my risk, or what can I do? My advice, if anybody's pitching you this rental car automation steer clear. If you're going to do it yourself, might as well get on Turo or Hire a Car or one of these other apps and just work with them. If you are paying one of these people $5,000, $10,000 for their rental car automation course, I would really do some soul searching and call them on the phone and see if maybe you can find out more information as far as the legality of it. But also, if you have any questions, feel free, put them in the comment section below. I'll try to answer as many of them as I can. I know there's a lot of issues with this rental car industry coming out. I know it's very hard to get licenses and very hard to get insurance. So I'll try to do a video about this a little bit later. But I'd love to know your opinions. What do you guys think about the whole rental car automation thing? I don't know if you guys have been seeing the same amount of ads I've been seeing pop up. It's just absolutely crazy. These guys are charging $10,000, $15,000 for a 2 to 3 hour course. And I mean, some of it's garbage. They've shown me some screenshots. It's absolutely hilarious. But this is what's going on. These are the people that are out there. So I'm hoping that as we build this channel and we further our growth, we can actually help educate people and show people that there is a correct way to do the automotive business. It's not that shady, and you can make money successfully without being thrown in jail. Now, a lot of these rental car companies are going to get raided by not only the DMV, but the police, because they are not paying usage tax. When we pay sales tax and usage tax, it's something that us rental car businesses have to pay. And some of these people have 2, 3, 4, 5 years where they have not been paying any type of taxes or doing any of these things. And that's one thing I've learned about the government. You can go ahead and do illegal crap and do whatever else, but once the government doesn't get their cut of the money, that's when they come after you. And that's why they put rental cars on the top of their list for 2023 and 2024. So best believe you're going to see a lot of these rental car companies going out of businesses very, very quickly. Also, we did a video about how the banks are chasing rental car companies, people that are doing Turo, Postmates, Uber, Lyft, because they're beating up their cars and they're not using what they're intended for. When you get an auto loan, you basically get single low-digit interest because you're not that much of a risk. But me, as a rental car business, I have to get a shorter term, so I can't get 84 months. My terms are usually 48 to 60 months. I don't get single-digit interest. It's usually 10 to 12% because they want me to pay it down faster, and they're raising the interest rate because they have to offset the risk, because I'm not using it as a regular person. I'm using it for business to make money. So that's why when we rent out, like let's say a Lamborghini Huracan, it's $2,000 a day, where these clowns are renting them for like $1,000 online just to get any type of money in. It's because we have a cost of doing business. We have to cover ourselves and we have to maintain a certain dollar amount, where these guys can literally they're just desperate and they're putting them out there because they just want to flex in a Huracan and not have to give it back to the bank. So they're just worried about making the payment only. But anyways, once again, leave a comment section below. If you have any questions, please reach out to me at Lucky Lopez on Instagram. And that's about it. We'll see you guys Monday.